So this video was supposed to be more progress on our Carnival ride restoration. I wanted to finish the electrical panel we started last time and assemble the jack stands we're building. And we made pretty good progress there, but along the way I bought a bunch of wrenches, completely reorganized my storage system, and now for some reason I own bakery equipment. So, number one is going to be shunt. Let's do 8 point. Yeah, that's a nice size. Do that. And then crimp that. We'll come along later at the end and heat shrink them all. You can find links down below in the video description to all the tools I use throughout this video. And this green one is just going to be round for now. I think I'm just going to hook these up and then we'll heat shrink them right in the thing. These terminal blocks use a spring release clamp, so you just shove a screwdriver in the square hole. That opens the clamp so you can put your wire in the round hole. We'll get all our labels lined up. This zip tie gun is really nice. It cuts it off flush. Sometimes with zip ties you have trouble with a sharp edge sticking out and cutting you when you reach your hand into places. These cut them off flush so they don't do that. Alright, done deal. So I've had this set of combination wrenches since I was a teenager, along with that top toolbox. I bought them both with one of my first paychecks, along with nut drivers and screwdrivers and the whole socket set. But I can't tell you the number of times that I have come into this workshop to grab a combination wrench only to find out that the 7/8, which is the largest size in the set, isn't big enough. Craftsman made up to 1.25 inches in that line, so I decided it was finally time to fill in all of my missing pieces. And rather than just going to Lowe's and buying off the shelf, I wanted to get the older ones that actually match the wrenches I have. So I've been scouring eBay and buying all of them. I think I have acquired all of them. They're not all here yet, but they're starting to come in. So we're going to get this unwrapped and put up in our new rack. I purchased these new racks because my original Craftsman racks only held 12 wrenches, whereas these hold 16. If I'm not mistaken, this is the 1 inch. Yep, there it is. 1 inch Craftsman. So we'll get this up on our rack. Just need to leave room for 15/16, which should be here in a day or two. We're going to have to come up with a slightly different arrangement here because this is not going to work out the way I want it to. With this here, my hammer doesn't fit anymore. I'm not really crazy about the way these are hanging anyways because this is hanging down over my power strip. I've been thinking about taking some of these decorative cast aluminum pieces and putting them down in the front of my paint drawer. Okay, received another wrench today, and if I'm not mistaken, this should be the 15/16. Oh, they really wrapped it, didn't they? It's like half a roll of saran wrap on here. And it is indeed the 15/16 with the VV manufacturer's code. 3 more to go. Another day and another delivery. These are the last wrenches we need to complete our set. Now this is actually more than what we need, but it was a good deal and I couldn't pass it up. It had the big 3 sizes I needed, plus some additional ones. There's 1 1/16, 1 1/8, and 1 1/4. Now there are some other extras, which are going to be duplicates of what we already have. We actually need this one. We have 7/16 on the wall, but it's actually a 6-point instead of a 12-point. Yeah, so this whole set was like $50. I could not pass that up. 1 1/16, 1 1/8, and 1 1/4 is going to have to hang somewhere by itself. And then we can also take this 7/16 out of here, which like I said is a 6-point. Replace it with a 12-point. My original 7/16, I was using it years and years ago at the side of my house. I dropped it, it fell into a seagrass plant, and I haven't seen it since. I would imagine if I took a metal detector or something to it, I might find it, but it was pretty well lost. Okay, I have decided to pick up a few of the metric sizes and only pick up the metric sizes that I might actually use. So my existing collection of metric combination wrenches start at 10 millimeters. So I'm going to go and grab all the sizes smaller than 10 millimeters. That's 6, 7, 8, and 9. The bigger sizes, probably not going to grab all those. All right, so this is 9 millimeter, which goes right there. Oh, that's a 6 millimeter. Just need the 7 and the 8 yet. This one's right here. This is an 8 millimeter. And we've got one more to go after that. I had to remove some storage bins when I installed the new air conditioner, and I purchased a new monitor on Prime Day for video editing, so I need to move some of these bins around. Oh, that did not hit anything. Not too sure why my stud finder found a phantom 2x4, but we'll regroup. I always intended for this toolboard to contain my most used tools, but that's not how it worked out. I'm constantly going to my toolbox to get things like my Allen wrenches and my utility knife, while those circular saw blades in the upper right, I don't think I have ever used them since I hung them there. It's also become a collection point for some Carnival memorabilia, but with space at a premium, that's gonna have to go. It's time to revamp this whole thing. So this is going to be a little piece that'll hold my set of Allen wrenches. Yeah. See if it fits, and if it does, we'll do the metric one. This should be our last eBay purchase for a while. This should complete the collection of smaller metric wrenches. It's in here somewhere. There it is. 7 millimeter. Put it up here on our newly arranged tool wall. So I'm feeling a little bit like Mr. Pete in this segment, and some of you probably know who he is. If not, look him up. He's been on YouTube forever.
Hello again, I'm back from the auction, and actually this is the next day.
Probably a little bit of overlap in our audience. So I went to an estate sale and I picked up these cabinets. I'm going to take them over to the car wash, get them cleaned up, and show you exactly what they are. So these are restaurant baking cabinets. Originally we thought they were proofing cabinets for allowing dough to rise, but they're not insulated and they don't have any heat source. So most likely these are transportation cabinets, maybe something a caterer would use to move food around with. Each one of these cabinets holds 40 baking trays. They weigh about 95 pounds and they have some really nice casters on them. All right, so we are back from the car wash, and I'm just going to let these things sit here and drain for a while. These came out of a gentleman's garage. He was using them for tool storage, and I don't think that they are particularly good for tool storage. This pile here is what was in there, and again, channeling my inner Mr. Pete, I don't think I'm going to need most of these tools. I have most of these tools.
Other people might want it, but I don't want that.
Although they're not particularly good for storing tools, I think they're going to be really great for storing supplies and consumables. So this is what I want to replace. This is it's a Black & Decker. I kept telling people Rubbermaid. This Black & Decker container, I use it to store a lot of supplies. So all sorts of resins and adhesives, brushes, filters, disposable paper funnels, and of course you see these plastic shelves, they warp, and there's only a few different heights you can put them in. I think those trays being spaced every 1.5 inches are going to be very, very versatile, and in the process we'll probably clean this out and get rid of a lot of stuff that's probably expired. So this is a perfect example of the kind of stuff that's going in the other cabinet. This is a whole box full of paint measuring mixing cups. These disposable funnels. These baking cabinets remind me of the airline serving trolleys that Adam Savage uses for storage, only on steroids. So here's the reason why I think this cabinet is going to be so good. It's going to be hard to get stuff lost in it, because you can pull the whole tray out and see what you have. If the need arises, I could even make custom containers to hang from these rails. So even when you put stuff way in the back, you'll still be able to see everything. I think that's going to be pretty spectacular. So we're getting ready to weld these jack pieces together, and I decided rather than just trying to eyeball where these should go, I would make a little jig to mark them, and then you can just mark. So when Scott goes to weld these up, he's got an idea of exactly where to position. This was 15 minutes of printing, but I was doing other things while it was doing it. It took none of my time except to design the piece. And the designing is the fun part for me, so yeah, I'll never use that again, but it did the job I needed it to. Oh yeah, we're good.
Hello, people.
Hello!
Hello.
Hello!
So Scott got these all welded together for us, and then I ran them through the blasting cabinet, and I gotta say, I'm really happy with how they turned out. Next thing to do, get them outside and get a coat of epoxy primer on them so they don't surface rust, and then after that, we can just set them aside and not worry about them until we need them. Well, this hasn't even been moved to its final home yet, but I need to start using it already. It's like my grandfather used to say, the chaos expands to exceed the storage available. It's going to be so nice. While I'm mixing this paint up, I'd like to take a moment and thank our Patreon supporters. Their continued support helps purchase the supplies used in this project. Yeah, it's probably way too much. I'm really happy with how these turned out. They look just like my drawings. And if you want to help this project along, consider supporting us on Patreon. And to follow along with the project, click that link to the left and come along for the ride.